Ahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and Taurus Rising, for anyone who wants to just hang out with the Taurus tribe, to part 1 of your July 2018 report. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. And really, I'm just going to be drawing cards. I have my Shadowscapes Tarot. I also have the Sacred Travelers Oracle deck, and I also have my color cards by Anna Segal. So definitely, I'm just going to be be drawing cards and just kind of feeling what the cards really want to give me. Not really going to try and format this in any particular way. It's going to kind of go with the flow of things. So let's go ahead and just cut the deck and see what the first card is that we have for you. Interesting. We have the Eight of Swords. I want to say that Scorpio got this card, so your opposite sign got this. And there's a hummingbird in the card as well, which is actually one of your totem animals. And the hummingbird usually speaks to turning away from infidelity so love can blossom. And I'm literally just reciting what's on my hummingbird card from my animal deck. But I see this as, hummingbirds, they flap their wings so fast, and they have one of the fastest heartbeats of all animals. But they have like this beauty and grace to them. And the thing is that, maybe you've been focusing on other people's garden. It's kind of like the same message that Scorpio had, but maybe you've been focusing on other people's gardens so much that you haven't really allowed your garden to blossom. So this Eight of Swords really is saying that you have been blocking your own success. You have to consider that, Uranus is in your sign, so you are really revolutionizing on a quantum level who you are. Your personality, your ego, your behavior, you're revolutionizing it. And we do have a very powerful July. We have, these two eclipses with the new moon solar eclipse, which is occurring next week on the 12th. We also have the full moon lunar eclipse, which is occurring in Aquarius. The new moon eclipse will be occurring for you in your third house. So this is definitely going to be speaking of, a revolutionization or in your relationships and your communication, your mind, the way that things work. So the Eight of Swords here is really saying that you need to kind of release these barriers that you have within your mind, self-limiting thought patterns, self-limiting beliefs that really hold you back from really flourishing and really creating the garden that you really want. So that's just the middle card. Let's see what else we have going on here. A lot of the cards for a lot of the signs have been coming up. There have been like several cards that have come up for multiple signs. So it's kind of interesting that it just goes to show that we're all connected. It really does. Like I said, this is a rather powerful month. We have Chiron, which just went retrograde. We have Chiron, which just went retrograde. Jupiter will be coming direct. We have a lot of retrograde planets, 2 eclipses. This is going to be a very powerful month. And absolutely just like jam-packed stellar month of transformation, growth, evolution. Let's see what else we have, though. That card wanted to come out. I'm going to draw 2 more cards. That bottom card wanted to come, that top card I can feel. Alright. So, we have the Ten of Swords here. We also have the Four of Pentacles, Taurus, and we also have the Ace of Wands. That's kind of interesting, actually. So, what I see this as is that there is something that you've been holding on to, Taurus, and that is coming to an abrupt end with this Ten of Swords. And you might be feeling, and you might have been feeling this coming on for a while, that whatever it is that you're kind of holding on to, Taurus, it could be a relationship, it could be a job, it can just be a way of being, actions, behaviors that you've been having. But there's something that you've been holding on to, and this has got you going to come to an abrupt end. But with the Ace of Wands here, it's saying that you're actually going to be even though you might be afraid to let go of whatever this is, even though there might be some apprehension of this, the Ace of Wands here is saying that when you let go of this, you're actually going to get your power back. Because maybe the reason why you've held on to it is because it's giving you some sense of structure. And since things this entire year have been so like transformative and moving and really calling us and asking us to step more into our power and to step more into our authentic self, you've been wanting to feel grounded throughout this. And Uranus is in your sign right now, but Uranus isn't necessarily the most grounded energy. It's Aquarius energy. It's up here in the mental sphere. So this is like, Father Uranus, or actually I guess it's kind of Grandfather Uranus, meeting up with the great-grandmother of Gaia, Earth, and them kind of renewing their vows. That's really what I see Uranus and Taurus as. It's the renewal of vows between Uranus and Gaia. So this is interesting because you have been holding on to something, the Four of Pentacles, right? And it has served you up until this point. But with the Ten of Swords, it's time for this aspect to fall away. It's time for you to release this. And when you release this, you're actually going to be getting your power back with the Ace of Wands. You're going to be feeling that spark again. You're going to be feeling like you really can move things forward in a powerful way. Let's see what else we have here. Fast. That's kind of the overall theme for you, Taurus, is needing to let something go because it's coming to an end. It no longer serves you. But at the same time, you're going to come into a very powerful understanding. And I even want you to notice. I even want you to take note of this because, like I said, we have this new moon eclipse coming up soon, and for you, it's in your third house. We have 3 foxes here, and the fox is actually a totem animal of Gemini, which rules the natural third house. All of this connects. This is beautiful. So it's even more similar to the fact that even after this eclipse that we have next week, you're definitely going to at least make the decision to actually let go of whatever it is that you need to let go of. And that's just going to give you a bit of a confidence boost. So let's see what else we have going on. Dude, France is kicking butt. They might win this tournament, yo. Alright. Bottom 2 cards. Let's see what we have going on here. We have the Emperor. We have the World card. We got this card actually for Sagittarius. That's pretty interesting. We have the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Wands. So this is kind of talking about the conflict. So what I see this as, the Emperor, it speaks to being clear within your mind, having a direction, and really going for what you want. The World card is speaking to like this, kind of coming definitely to your own, realizing that we're all one in this together. It's like this completion of all the things that you have been working towards. The Knight of Swords here can definitely be a person. With the Seven of Wands, it usually speaks to you having to hold your own. So what I see this as, Taurus, is that this Knight of Swords is going to be someone, and this could be an air sign, this could be a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, that doesn't necessarily, that almost kind of wants you to hold on to whatever it is that you're holding on to. Maybe they're trying to tell you that, and this could be a person, like say you have a job where you have benefits and all these things and all these different perks, but you're not really feeling within your soul the satisfaction. This Knight of Swords can be someone who comes in and wants you to be like logical. They're just like, oh, you're in your feelings, you need to be logical, you have a great job, you have a great this, you have a great that, and you don't really need to be shifting things up right now. That's kind of where the Seven of Wands comes into play, where you are really going to need to actually stand on your own truth, stand your ground, because the fact of the matter is that you're gaining a clearer mind. This new moon This, like I said, this new moon solar eclipse that's going to be occurring in your third house is actually about that. It's about clearing your mind, and it's opposing Pluto, directly opposing Pluto, because they're going to be both at 20 degrees. So it literally is about you clearing away all of the gunk out of your mind that's been holding you back from seeing your situation for what it is, and really even seeing your own potential. So this is really about you, coming to a deeper, clearer understanding on where you are right now in the world and where you want to be, where you want to go. So this Knight of Swords, they're not necessarily, and like I said, it doesn't have to be per se an air sign, but someone who has these air sign qualities, or someone who's thinking really logically, right? Who's like really in their mind. But you're really going to be seeking a deeper essence. You have the Ace of Wands here, right? You're going to be seeking something deeper, something that really ignites your passion. You're going to really have to stand your ground, Taurus, which shouldn't be an issue for you, because it's like a bull that's standing its ground, it's like it's not going to move. It's fixed earth. So it's like, it's kind of like the running of the bulls that they do in Spain. It's like when they're running and they're charging like that, or they're standing their ground, even though I know that's a kind of a weird metaphor, but it's like you don't want to get in their way. You don't want to get in their way. So you're not really going to have a problem with standing your ground, but you are going to kind of be receiving this weird backlash from people that don't necessarily understand your direction and where you're going, and why you might be letting go of this thing that to other people and even to society seems like it's something that you would want to hold on to because it gives you certain benefits, it gives you certain perks, but you're looking for spiritual perks. You're looking for spiritual abundance. You're looking for something deeper, something more fulfilling, something that's not at surface level, right? The cool thing about Uranus being in your sign is that it's really getting to the quantum level of your roots and really pulling out the value from there, which is really going to help transform your life in a very beautiful, powerful way. Let's see what else we got going. Let's see what else we got going on for you, Taurus. Hold on, wait a minute. That card is like kind of perpendicular, so I want to pull that out. That card was the Lovers. Oh, interesting. Okay, what's going on with this? The Lovers card. Consider that the Lovers is ruled by Gemini, and we have this new moon eclipse occurring in your third house. That's pretty interesting, actually. So this could seek to some type of transformation within your love life. If you are partnered up. If you're partnered up, they might actually be the Knight of Swords. They might not necessarily understand your decision, but let's see what other cards we have here. Okay. Oh, that card just flipped up. Wow, that's the Four of Wands, actually, that flipped up. I'm going to pull the two cards that are around it, because I want to see what this is about. So we have the Lovers card, and then we have the Four of Wands, which is kind of in many ways the marriage card. So let's see what energies are kind of being married. This card has been coming up for a lot of signs. We have the Eight of Pentacles again. This came up for Scorpio, and this came up for Sagittarius. We also have the High Priestess. Okay. Alright, this is really interesting. Okay. This is really interesting. So, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition, Taurus. You're about to make a beautiful, amazing shift for the better. You're about to let go of something that's really going to allow you to move forward in a very powerful way, a transformative way. And the thing is that you've been kind of working on this behind the scenes. You've been kind of working on this behind the scenes, integrally and slowly, and maybe people haven't been noticing, but now you're about to bring this out into the light. The Four of Wands means that you're going to marry this energy, I like to think of the Eight of Pentacles as, I like to think of it as the brick by brick thing. It's like when you're in the lab and you're creating and you're flowing, whereas Three of Pentacles is like you have like that first success, and it's kind of like exciting. The Eight of Pentacles is like you've had a couple of these, right? But you're like building and building and building and moving forward, and you're really in your craft and you're developing your craft. So this energy, in many ways, is going to be married with the High Priestess. So it's like you tapping more into your intuition and kind of harmonizing the dark and light within you, and you marrying these aspects so you really can, what I see as, fall in love back in with your life. Fall in love with yourself. The Lovers is definitely speaking of a potential soulmate connection, but even more so than that, I see this as you really learning to love yourself more. And when you learn to love yourself more, when you just, more than likely, if you're watching this video, you have access to, obviously, the internet, phones. You can go into the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror, and that's actually what I did this morning. This morning, one of the first things I did is I went to the mirror and I told myself that I loved me. I told myself, it's like, you're able, you are beautiful, you are creative, you are divine, you are energetic. And I was saying these positive affirmations to myself in the mirror because it reflects, it bounces off. And that's kind of really what you want to do, is realize that when you begin to reflect that confidence, you're going to naturally receive that. People are going to become more confident in you. And I think even with this Knight of Swords, even though they might not necessarily understand your direction, this potentially could be a lover, or just maybe even a close friend or a family member. But I think what's going to happen is that you're going to kind of show them the work that you've been doing behind the scenes. And they're going to be like, oh, that's what you've been working on. That's why you've been so, like, excited during this certain times. That's why you've been acting that way. That's interesting. And then they're going to really begin to see just how passionate you are about this. And they're going to be supportive. They may not get it at first, but I think they're going to be supportive, you know. Except we have the Lovers card here, so it's really beautiful. It's speaking of, you know, you having that connection, and really that connection comes from having that connection with yourself, but you establishing that connection with another person, a kindred soul connection. I really see this as a month where, Taurus, you're definitely going to have this deep let go. I feel like a lot of it is mental. A mental paradigm that no longer works, that's not really allowing you to manifest to your greatest capabilities. And you are the natural manifester of the zodiac, but you have been working behind the scenes, and now you're about to kind of bring that out into the light. Let's see what your sacred traveler oracle card is for the month of July. Time for you to kind of come out and play, Taurus. Time for you to kind of come out and play. Show people what you've been working on. Show the world what you have been working on. Stand your ground. Stand on your truth. Don't hold back. Trust your intuition. It's time to celebrate. That card kind of wanted to pop out from what it seems like. We have Grace and Gratitude. I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck, actually. Through gratitude, joy expands. The reason why I love this card so much is because gratitude is really one of those vibrations that if you really step into that vibration every day, at some point throughout the day, and it's really best to do it first thing in the morning, but when you step into the vibration of gratitude, it's not that you are settling for what is happening right now. It doesn't mean that you can't move forward. It's that you're acknowledging the divinity of that moment. You're acknowledging your breath. You're acknowledging the life force, the God force, the goddess force. And you're acknowledging that joy permeates every moment when we choose to focus on it, when we choose to embrace that. So for you this month, you really are going to be feeling the gratitude. Because even though you're going to be letting go of something, I don't think you're really going to be afraid to let go of it, because you kind of know that you've been working on something else, and you're trusting your intuition, and you know this is actually going to bring you to a deeper fulfillment and satisfaction in life. I think your mind's going to become clear, and really by stepping into the vibration of gratitude, you are really going to move forward in a powerful way. You're going to be feeling quite joyful all throughout the month, actually. And even though there might be a little bit of difficulty with people not necessarily understanding why you're having to let go of whatever you need to let go of, They will see it. They will understand it come the end of the month. Your color card. Ooh, ooh. Several cards kind of wanted to just pop out the energy here. All right. I'm actually going to draw 2 cards for you, so just based off of that. All right. Top card we have is Pearl, which is connected to the divine. Bottom card we have is Lavender, which is connect to body, mind, and soul. So connect to body, mind, and soul, and to the divine. This is you really tapping into all of your senses. In many ways, I'd like to think that you rule the senses, Taurus. So I see this as by connecting to your body, to your mental body, your physical body, your spiritual body, it's actually going to allow you to tap into the divine, to the high priestess, and really is going to give you the clarity that you need to really move forward. And you're really going to kind of just understand why you need to make the change that you need to make. And the great thing, I like the Pearl because it's like, this card, pearls, I think of Cancer energy, and we have this new moon. So that's really where this all starts. I'm telling you, this is a super powerful month, and I'm going to make a video, of course, on the eclipse itself. But, the world is your oyster, and you are the pearl. Sometimes things take time to manifest, and I think you have been working on it. And for you, I don't think you've really been worried about the timing of it because you're Taurus energy, and you don't mind taking things slow. That's why you haven't really been bogged down and too anxious about manifesting, because you don't really mind taking your time, Taurus. Whereas other signs, they might be a little bit more apprehensive. So whenever this person, this Knight of Swords, who doesn't necessarily understand your direction, and they might try to fight you with the 7 of Wands and be like, wait, why wouldn't you do this? Because they're really like being super, super logical. Like I said, you're going to kind of show them what you've been working on behind the scenes, day by day, step by step, brick by brick. And it's like you don't really mind this slower process because you understand that you are the pearl, and sometimes that takes time to manifest, and that you're slowly really growing and evolving. And by the end of the month, you're definitely going to feel a lighter load, and you're really going to feel like you'll be able to like move forward in a powerful way. I'm thinking of dandelions, actually. I'm feeling like maybe you've been feeling like you've been kind of weighed down, which is kind of funny because you're Taurus and you're the heaviest energy technically because it's fixed Earth. But you're going to be kind of feeling like a dandelion by the end of the month because you're just going to be feeling lighter, but still connected to the Earth, still connected to your body, still connected to spirit. That is it for your reading, Taurus. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.